Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be going over a hot topic that's going around right now within the video game industry, right? And that is, is gaming becoming too expensive? And that's due to the fact, with the latest report that has come out, which is, will Borderlands 4 be priced at $80, right? So in today's video, I want to take a look at some hobbies and try to match it with video games. I want to see where the video games, as far as being expensive, lands next to these other hobbies that we're gonna discuss here today, right? So we're gonna go into it, but before we go ahead and do that, if you are new and you do like what you see here, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit the like button, share out the video. We also offer memberships. That link is pinned in the description below, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So here we are, right? I just pulled up a list of the 5 most popular hobbies here in the US, and these are the top 5: reading, video game, cooking, arts and crafts, and traveling. I also pulled up the top 5 most expensive hobbies here in the US. You see here, car collection, yachts, yachting, like owning it, maintaining it, operating yachts, right? Aviation, costs a lot of money. Horse ownership, you know, costs a lot of money. The same thing as car collecting. You gotta own it, maintain it. You gotta train your horses and things of that nature, right? Everything from a veterinarian. You know how expensive vets are, so you gotta do all these things to maintain it. Hunting is another very, very popular uh hobby here in the US. You know, you gotta including firearms, ammunition, outerwear, hunting licenses, right? Tags, traveling, and things like that. All that sums up to a lot of money, right? And these are just some examples that I wanted to show y'all before we start looking into these particular hobbies, right? So for the first hobby that we're gonna go over here, and I'm just gonna try to get through them, spend not too much time on each one, right? Because there's a few. So here we are, and this is the traveling, right? This is the what it costs to travel per month. They saying here that according to a survey, travel enthusiasts spend about $143 a month, and that's according to self financial data. Okay. Um, but to break it down just a little bit more, if you look down here, examples of a monthly travel cost, you see here that we have the budget friendly traveler, right? The person who doesn't like to spend a lot of money and things like that. That even this person, considering traveling through Southeast Asia, could spend up 500 to $800 a month. Okay, so this is a lot of money. This up here, the 143 a month that you see up here, um, it's just an average of all the travelers that are out there, right? That's an average. But if you some of these travelers that go to different countries and do this like a backpacker traveling through Southeast Asia, you know, you got to go through a lot of things. You might be one of those backpacker that they mention here, like what you call it, make yourself a couple sandwiches and put them in your backpack, travel with juice, water, things of that nature that you won't necessarily have to stop so much during your travels and to a restaurant and eat. No, you packed yourself some sandwiches, you got some juice, you got some water, you got some fruit maybe, and things like that. That's what they trying to tell you by that, that even that person is at $500 a month. A mid-range, you're gonna boost that up to $12 to $1,500 a month, and the luxury traveler usually spends $2,000 a month. Okay, we're not gonna get into all this right here, right? These are just things so you can be aware of the situation. Let me just break down this 143 a month here, okay? I don't know what happened to my calculator. Here it is. Okay, so the 143, right? We do that. That's coming up to $1,700 a month, and that's just up here. Because do not make me do the budget traveler down here, which is $500 a month. Okay, which they mentioned here. That's $6,000 a year. Okay. Now you might say, oh, well, that person, it says a month, but you're not traveling every month and doing all that every year, like every month, and spending the 500 or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Let's say that this trip that this person did, this budget traveler, going through Southeast Asia, let's say that that trip was a once in a year, once a year. Let's say that couple does a once a year big travel and does things like that. All right, that's $6,000 a year. So that's even worse. You understand? It might not be per month. That's even worse though. That you take one trip a year, and it's a big one. You know, you travel through Southeast Asia and things like that. That's $6,000 we talking about. So that's why I'm trying to get the least that you spend on average on these hobbies. So the least is 143 a month, and that's what we come up with, okay? We come up with $1,700. Let's move on. For the next one here, I bought in photography, which was another expensive one here. Now they don't say here what's the average, right? Because photography can be so dependent on on each person, and things like that. Some people might buy cheap cameras and they don't care. Others buy the most expensive ones. They couldn't come up with an average, right? But just put all these things into perspective. The equipment, the software, the accessories that you need, the learning resources, such as the books, the courses, the accessories, the tripods, the filters, storage, software for editing and processing photos. Okay, that's expensive. So imagine all of that. The price of the cameras, the lenses, and other things like that. Personal preferences as well. Okay. Okay. And also, real quick, I just wanted to give you an example because these people here on a Reddit post are saying, I don't know the exact US dollars equivalent, but around 9,500. They saying here, and I believe that's euros or pounds. Okay. But if you are a photographer and you do that as a hobby and you do happen to come across this video, please let me know in the comment section below, how much do you spend on an average month, right? If you're into photography, because I would like to know. And I would like to have a more clear answer as far as photography, But according to this, it sounds like it's expensive. So I'm gonna put it up there with the same amount as traveling, right? I'm gonna put it at $1,700 for now, right? Because I couldn't find like an average. I could not find an average when it comes to this. So please let me know. We're gonna move on to the next hobby, which is cooking. Now, this is another very popular hobby here in the United States. We have the cooking channel and things like that. A lot of people made themselves famous off the Food Network and the cooking channel and things like that. For baking and cooking and making it an average hobby here in the United States, right? So this is very popular. So if we see here, it's also the same thing. It depends on the equipment you buy, the ingredients, whether you want fresh ingredients. You gotta look for those, right? Like using the basic grains, beans, vegetables, and things like that. You're gonna want some high-end ingredients, right? The equipments, the pots and pans, and things like that. And the list goes on and on, right? So it says here, down here, you see, it's an average of $135 a month for cooking and baking that the average person spends. And that's according to self.inc, okay? We do that. That's $135 a month, okay? 135. Here we go. That's $1,600. So that's pretty much up there, right? With the traveling and the photography, as far as we know. $1,600. We're going to move on to the next hobby here. We're at, where are we? Fishing. Fishing is another one. This is another one that depends on the equipment and types of fish that you like to fish and things like that, right? But real quick, an example. What you see here is basic fishing. This is when you're a beginner. You spend around $25 to $50 a month, right? When you're a beginner, you're just learning. You don't want to go head in and buy all the latest equipment and things like that. You're just starting off. You're fresh. $25 to $50. Okay, let me learn how to fish. Let me learn the ropes. Let me learn where I like to go fishing, where I can find specific fishes and things like that. You start learning. Boom. Next time, you're gonna want to move up in the chain, right? You become a mid-range fisher. Now you're spending between $100 to $200 a month, okay? And we're not even gonna go to advanced fishing, but we're gonna stick right here to $100 to $200 a month. You know, it says here you start to fish regularly because now you're enjoying the hobby and you're investing in some mid-range gear as well. That's your gear that you wear, or the equipment of the fishing rod and the baits that you buy for the fishes and everything that comes with it, right? You start to bump up. You start to want to feel good about yourself. Now you consider yourself a fisherman, you know? You're going to want to live the life. Just like video gamers, right? You start to get into it. Now you start buying gear. Like you start seeing people with shirts of video games and your favorite video game or things like that, right? It's the same thing here. $100 a month. Let's just take that, right? We're not even going to take the $200 a month. We're going to take the $100 a month, right? We're going to do that there. That's $1,200, okay? Not too bad. That's a year, $1,200. Not too bad, right? Okay. We're going to move on to the next one, arts and craft. It's an average between $50 to $100 a month. Arts and craft, we all know, you don't need much to enjoy arts and craft as a hobby. You buy a couple equipment here and there, and you're set. You might do a one-time where you buy all the equipment that you're gonna need for it and things like that, but that's a one-time deal. Now, monthly, you're not really gonna be spending much. The only reason they putting here $50 to $100 a month is because you could get subscription boxes, right? That includes all the necessary supplies for a particular project, which can add a fixed monthly cost, right? So if you into these things, we're gonna put this here. Now, depending on what you pay, what you order within that subscription box, I'm assuming you could do a $50 to $100. Let's just do the $50, right? This is gonna be the cheapest one. $600 a year. So you don't really need much to do arts and craft, right? That's $600 a year. Let's move on, because now we're going on shopping. Now, don't pay attention to this one, $513 a month, because that's including food, grocery shopping, you know, online, dining out, and everything included, right? I just want to focus on, let's focus on clothing, right? Because food, forget about it. And we already did cooking, so I don't want to do food. Online shopping, that includes everything. Groceries could come up to $500 a month or whatever, right? Housing expenses and things like that. Clothing, people are saying that they average about $120 a month, with women spending significantly more than men, okay? So I'm gonna exclude the women in this, okay? I'm going to just look at men's clothing. That's $120 a month. That is, if we go over to Nike, this, what is this? The pants. These pants right here in the middle, $125. Okay, $125. But let me look for the cheapest one here, right? Price. Low to high. Let me see. Socks. No, we need something better than socks. Okay, these are the things that you get on sale and things like that. You know, these are like once in a blue that you buy things like this on sale. But oh, look at this shirt. I don't like this shirt. I'm not gonna buy it. I want something that I like. You know, something that appeals to me. So we go to, you know, let me see. Let me put newest, right? Let's go to newest. Things like this. Justin, look at this hoodie. $85. $70, right? $85. So if you decide to spend $85, you're going to want some sweats maybe or whatever. We add up to $120. You go look at sneakers, right? It's not just that. Because you go look at some sneakers. Look at this. $200, $180, $165. Now, people buy sneakers. You can't tell me that a lot of people don't buy sneakers monthly. And when you do, it's expensive. It's like Nikes, Adidas, and things of that nature, right? Look at this. Jordans as well, $185. So even if we look at just the sneakers alone, like $155 a month, like it varies, of course, but still, $155 a month. Wait a minute, what are these? Hey, I actually like these. Hold on a sec. Hey, these DMV drive. Oh, these are new too. Hold on a second, people. Hold on a second. They're kind of nice, bro. These are kind of fire, bro. Ooh. $155, bro. These stickers look tough. Easy money sniper. Wow. That's fire, bro. And they got different colors too. Woo. Oh, I think KD got some right here, bro. I think KD got himself some sneakers right here, bro. I'm not even going to hold you. Ooh. Bro, look at that. Oh, my goodness, bro. I might have to get myself these sneakers, bro. Oh, these are fire, bro. These are fire. I'm sorry about that. Okay, but anyways. Let's stick to the average, right? The average for clothing, they said here, $120 a month. I'm sorry about that. $120 a month, right? That's $1,400 right there and then. Okay. Now we're gonna get to the video games, right? We're reaching the video games as far as how expensive it is. And here we go, people. Here as well. They don't really have a number to it. Because it varies, right? It varies. But this is just here. Sales are declining. People are not buying games like that anymore. Okay. On average, $70 times 12 equals $840. That's if you buy one game a month. Okay? That's how I'm putting it to you. That's why in all the other categories, I did times 12 per month. Okay? The average. The average here, I'm putting it, even though it's not true, it's, let's say that you are a gamer that buys one premium game a month, which is at $70. That's going to bring you to $840 right there. Okay? That's if you're a console gamer, right? Because also, let me include this. If you are a PlayStation gamer, if you see here, the cheapest one, because you have to pay for online, the cheapest one is at $60 a month. That's for the year. You pay $60 for the year. Sorry, a month is $7 a month. So, I said what? 60? Okay, so plus 60, $900 a year is what you're spending on video games, right? If you are a PlayStation gamer, right? Now, if you are an Xbox gamer, Let's cross over to Xbox. This is what you're paying a month or yearly. For the core is $10 a month for the core, and I'm on console, and I'm looking at the cheapest one, $10 a month, right? $10 a month. This is what you're paying. $120 a month is what you're paying, right? Plus the $840, $960 is what you're paying for a year. So the PlayStation gamer is actually spending less money if you're doing it this way, if you calculate it this way, right? So still under $1,000, right? $900 with the online subscriptions and things like that. But if you are a PC gamer, I'm gonna take you here because we all know, but I just want you to read it for yourself, that you don't need to pay for online services. Okay? So that's a major plus if you're a PC gamer. You don't pay for online services. So you could throw the $60 or the $120 a year, throw that out the window. You don't need to include that. So also, when games come out on Steam and PC, they're usually $10 less. So what you paying on console for $70, they're usually $60 in the Steam store. So these games at $60, $720 a year, right? And that is only if we are buying one premium game a month. That's why I'm coming up with these numbers. Because the reality is, okay, and this is when I'm going to break it down. The reality is, if we come here, let me show you this, okay? Top 10 selling games of 2022. What do we see? Call of Duty, Elden Ring, Madden, God of War, Lego, Pokemon, FIFA, Pokemon, Horizon, MLB. That's in year 2022. We're going to cross over to the year 2023. Here we are, 2023. We see, what do we see here? Hogwarts Legacy, Call of Duty, Madden, Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom, Diablo 4, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, Star Wars, EA Sports, Starfield, Super Mario, Resident Evil 4, MLB, Dead Island. But this is the top 20, right? Just the top 10 alone. Look at the top 10. We start seeing very similar games continuing to appear on the charts. Let's take you over to 2024. We are in 2024. So, like I told you, we keep on seeing the same games popping up. Black Ops, Call of Duty, EA Sports, Football, Helldivers, Dragon Ball, NBA 2K, NFL, Call of Duty, EA Sports, Elden Ring, EA Sports MVP bundle. Top 10. What do these 3 years have in common? That the majority of games that keep popping up are the same games. Are games that come out once a year. And these are the games that are being bought every year. So the average gamer out there is particularly only buying 1 or 2 games for the entire year. That's what that's telling me. Because these keep popping up every single year, time and time again. The same games keep coming up. Only a sprinkle of new games come out here and there. Once, that pop up in the top 10 in that year. So that's, those are the rare games that come out. The majority of games that always come out on top are the same ones, as you just saw. Call of Duty, EA, any game, either it's the college one, Madden, or the FC, the football, the soccer, right, which was FIFA. Now they changed it. NBA 2K, MLB, another one, right? All these games come out annually, once a year. And these are the games that keep on as far as premium games that keep up appearing on on the charts. So if you are these type of gamers, to 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 finalize it here, right? Let me give you two games, right? I'm gonna put it at two games because you might need that. You might buy that one and might buy another game or whatever. A year, right? So we do. How many games I said? Two. If you're a PlayStation gamer, add $60 to that. What that gives you? $200. Okay? For the whole year. $200 for the whole year. So my point here is people keep saying that video games is so expensive. I just broke everything down to you. Pay attention. I just broke everything down to you. This average person right here is paying $200 a year for the online multiplayer and two games. I gave him a multiplayer game and I gave him maybe a single player games that he likes to enjoy on his own time or whatever it is. $200. Even if you add a third game, even if you add a third game to that, $270 for the whole year. So this whole complaining things about things are video games is becoming too expensive. 9 times out of 10, that person complaining doesn't even buy games. The same games keep coming up top 10 year after year. I just showed you 3 consecutive years, and we saw the majority of them being the same games coming out on top. And this is the average, right? Because that, if you've seen the top 10 right there, that speaks volumes. That's what people are playing. So, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this one. I mean, it might sound like it's getting expensive because they're jumping from $70 to $80 at one shot, right? And it might seem like a lot. But like I said, the majority of gamers aren't even buying. Like the Steam came out and said that the most popular graphics card over there on PC is the 3060 laptop edition. So that's telling me that this is like very accurate when you start looking at these lists. Because when you start looking at PC, you see Dota, you see CSGO, you see Minecraft, you see Roblox, you see games like Banana, Dota, you see games like this that don't require much from your hardware. That's why that 3060 laptop edition is the most popular one according to the Steam charts. So it's telling me that people really aren't buying premium games like that to be complaining about, that they're raising the prices from $70 to $80. Okay? So I just wanted to make this video to give you some sort of idea, like, and reference it with other hobbies that other people have serious, credibility as far as they should be complaining. They should be the ones complaining because they spend a lot of money in their hobbies. You're only gonna find hobbies that are less expensive than this. Like when we talking about arts and craft, like reading, which is another popular one. It don't cost much to have reading as a hobby, and hiking. You might like to hike. You don't need much. You need some good hiking boots, book bag, good pair of pants, and you go. Most of these parks are free. You don't need to be paying to have access to go hiking and things like that. Camping, things like that. Like, you're not gonna find a lot of hobbies that are that much, what you call it, least expensive from video games. I just broke everything down to you. So that's gonna be the video right there. I try to break this down, as quickly as possible. So hopefully y'all stay till the end of this video. And if you did, I appreciate you so much. Thank y'all for rocking with me. All the members out there, I appreciate you. Uh, if you did like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, share out the video. We offer memberships. That link is pinned in the description below. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, um, it is your boy, the gifted one here. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone.